to learn about snowmobiling, network with other sledders, and have an awesome time doing it. We'll meet other snowmobilers that share your passion and show your fan photos along the way. Snowmobile Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride.
This episode of Snowmobile Sessions Live is brought to you by Energy Powersports. They're Oakville's full-line BRP dealer with sales and service to all BRP models and so much more. Energy Powersports always has the fun in store with a wide selection of clothing, parts, and accessories for all your powersports passions. Make Energy Powersports your source for Can-Am off-road, ATV, and side-by-sides. Can-Am on-road Ryker and Spyder, including the sporty F3S. Sea-Doo watercraft and Switch pontoon boats, and Alumacraft fishing boats powered by Mercury Marine. Put yourself on a Manitou pontoon or a Widescape stand-up snowmobile. Energy Powersports is the home for Lynx and Ski-Doo snowmobiles for the entire family. Do you feel the energy? Energy Powersports, 879 Cranberry Court, Oakville, Ontario, or online, energypowersports.ca. Fan photos are brought to you by Fast Track Snowmobile Traction. This season, quit sliding sideways on the ice and losing races to your buddies. A Fast Track stud kit will help you with improved braking and give you the arm-ripping acceleration you crave. I put over 3,000 clicks last season on my Renegade 850, and I'll tell you, these studs exceeded my expectations. Not one broken stud, my idle wheels still look like new, and they hooked up like I was on rails in the twisties, inspiring confidence every ride. Fast Track Top Gun kits are the highest rated stud kit at 4.9 stars with over 230 reviews. The studs are heat treated stainless so they are strong and they don't rust. The kit is lighter, easier on the track, and has a lifetime warranty against breaking. Each kit comes with a track specific template for complete balance with over double the scratch lines from stock templates. All listeners when purchasing a stud kit can get a free install kit, a $30 value. Visit fasttrack.co, add both products to the cart, and use the coupon code SNOW at the checkout. That's fasttrac.co. All right, welcome to Season 4, everybody. I think we have some luck, and we have Troy Oleson waiting in backstage for us. I'll bring him in. How are you, Troy?
Hey, good evening, Gary. How are you doing?
That's awesome. Glad to hear it.
The struggle bus is real today to get online. Holy man.
Sorry about that. I'm actually just, I'm having trouble with my audio here. Let me see hang on. I know what's going on. Just one moment. Here we go. That should be better now.
You hear me now?
I do. Loud and clear.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, the struggle bus is real on this side. Boy, they're putting fiber optic out here way out in the country, and lo and behold, someone hit one last night. So we've been going on 14 hours here with hotspots instead of actual true good Wi-Fi and internet. So yeah, we're here. We made it.
That's great. Are you on your phone right now?
Yeah, I am. I'm on my phone in my trailer. Figured, well, it's snowmobile season. We should be in the trailer, but mostly because I got the three boys. They're not going to be quiet for more than 2 minutes. So yeah, and I have the hotspot, so we'll see. I have them locked out, but well, it'll be good.
No problem. Try and turn your phone sideways for a second. See if you fill the screen. It'll take a second to blip. There we go. Perfect. There you go. That's much better.
Perfect.
Much better. Hey, so we got a bunch of friends in the chat looking to meet you today. We have Corey Brock, of course. He's going to be moderating this event as usual. Wisco Sledhead and Jacob Mass are my 1 and I guess 2 and 3 fans next to Corey. And they were here first. Hey, and we have Skidoo 600R. He says, hey, everybody. Mike Gulitz is in the house. And who else we got in here? There's a few. Joe Caraco, he says, what's up, everyone? William McClearly, it's official start of snowmobile season when the first sessions is here. We just need to add snow. And Bobby O, 1967 GT says, Gary, 'tis the season for Monday nights again. And Jeff Dancer's in the house. Good evening, everyone, he says. So that's great. Yeah, so.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so you've been busy doing the show circuit and everything. Tell us a little bit about how that's going.
Yeah, so we just, what was it, a week and a half ago? That was my first trip out east for a show out there, and was at the Epping grass rigs out there. So it was awesome to finally get out east and meet a bunch of sledders out there. So that's a heck of an event. I know everyone was, hey, this is like the heydays of the East, and it did. When the sun came out Sunday, there was a lot of people, and it was awesome to meet up with a lot of followers that I just haven't made it out quite that way yet. So good show. Great to see people.
Perfect. What things are you learning about Skidoo that you never thought you knew until you started doing those shows?
Oh man, there's always a lot. I mean, I guess a lot. You see, everyone gets to see the final product and what all goes into the sleds. You get the final product, but just the marketing, who is going after. This is my 4th year as on the team, and so every year it seems to be like there's something, always something new coming out, and why we're going after it, what's the demographics, and just probably all the business end of snowmobiling. It's pretty it's been pretty fun to kind of learn and be part of that. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's cool. All right. What's your favorite sled in 2024?
2024. Well, I mean, the little missile of that turbo MXZ is pretty tough not to say that's a favorite this year. I mean, we were playing on that in February out west, and man, there's rumors of what the calibration is going to come out on it, but I won't speculate on rumors. But I hope that they leave us enough gear on that thing. I'll just leave it at that way to make sure we get for all the lake racers out there. We really want to see some big triple digits. So for a 2-stroke.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like you actually rode the prototype, did you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did a lot of riding out there with it, and got to play with all the the launch mode. I mean, it's fun on the 4-stroke. It's really fun on this one just because it's light up front, and so like it's the strongest 180 horsepower sled I've ever felt in my life. So I'll leave all the dyno when they get all that, and whether it's truly only 80 or there's that's a conservative number. Right. Sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's nice to see them stepping it up. That's for sure. Polaris brought the 900R out last year, so it's a good answer to it for sure. What's the what do you ride normally? Sorry, you're freezing up here right now. But you're a family man, so you have quite the. No, you have quite the variety of sleds in your stable. Like, tell us a bit about what you have as far as what you ride personally, and also what your family enjoys riding.
It's kind of a unique snowmobiling time for me. Like, there was the time where it was me just riding, and it was riding with the group. But now, like I said, I got the 3 boys. They're 11, 8, and 3, going on 4. They all ride. Even the 3-year-old rides. Whether he can. I'm a little nervous of him on that 200, but. So we went from all having the power sleds and the backcountry sleds, which I have, but now we have Neos in the garage, and we have a couple of them, a 200. So I spend a lot of my time right now just rolling through the yard on the Neos, teaching them proper etiquette, put little trail signs up in the yard. So snowmobiling's taken on a kind of a new phase in my life here with the boys getting involved in it. But I love it because if I'm out on the sleds, whether it's in my yard and then teaching them, or I'm out riding with the crew, it's great. And someday, like I said, next year in Wisconsin, my oldest will be riding by himself on the trail with me. So that'll be a pretty cool experience as the boys grow up, for sure.
Very cool. How old do they have to be to ride the trails in the U.S.?
It's different, and so it's really state by state. And so Wisconsin's 12 with a snowmobile safety class. So which is sometimes crazy to think about, but 12 years old in Wisconsin, he can be on his own on the trails. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's the same as what it is here. You take a safety course and away you go. Now your parents should be riding close by, but so Corey Brock says, Troy Oleson better give us a sick tour of that trailer, or tour of that sick trailer. Can you spin around the phone?
I can spin around. Yeah, we can spin around. So yeah, I'm sitting up here in the gooseneck here. So yeah, this is a freshly new one here. But yeah, So you got the gooseneck up here. Yeah, we got all the heated glove racks, heated boot racks, and you got all the heated floor vents that go all the way back here, all the onesie racks, and then I went a little bougie. I put an air conditioner in it just in case we use it in the summer. But yeah, then you roll it back there. We added the couch in there. I mean, after you're done riding, you got to converse the ride little table. You could call it a workbench, or that's going to hold beverages. Whatever you need it to do. But yeah, so we did it. We added a couple things. Still got to do some work on the make it trail. I guess trail friendly with the guides and stuff like that. But yeah. We this is a little bougie. This is a little over the top, even for what I considered. So, why not?
You have your priorities straight anyway. Get all the creature comforts taken care of, and then we'll worry about getting the sleds in there.
Yeah. Well, at least you feel that way. I think my wife would have a yeah.
Yeah, they usually do. We don't listen to them. Not at all. Very rarely. We're at a disagreement on whether this was a need or a want. So we'll just leave it at that. It looks like a really good need. That's what I think. So you got a 2 thumbs up and a beauty from
how are we
Corey.
gonna get the whole family there?
He loves his trailer. Wisco Sledheads wants to know whereabouts you ride in Wisconsin.
So I do a lot so I live right just about 30 minutes west of Green Bay. So we'll do a lot of riding about 2 hours north here in Wisconsin. So like Eagle River, Three Lakes is areas where I'll drop off. And then it's usually a really nice long pull all the way up to like Copper Harbor in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and back that way. So if we're leaving from Wisconsin and I'm trailering, if we don't have snow right from my garage, that's probably where I'm doing most of my riding in Wisconsin. And then, then we do a lot of riding in the UP just because that lake effect machine produces a lot of snow up there. So it's pretty fun to go put on some hefty miles up there.
Yeah, for sure. He says they primarily ride in the northeast Wisconsin out of Townsend. He said you should know that area. Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Well, in the second area, we actually, my in-laws have a cabin in the town of Silver Cliff. So we'll do a little like by the Peshtigo River there, just kind of by Wabi Lake, a little bit east of there. So that's some really beautiful riding. That's kind of my secret zone that I don't talk about so much because there's actually a lot of national forest roads that there's some great riding in there. So nice call out. I know right where you're riding. That's awesome.
Yeah, and Jacob Massart, he's near Luxembourg, and he says Minocqua is where he's hanging. The big joke is I butcher all the UP and Wisconsin city names. So he said that's where he's going to hang out a lot this year.
Minocqua area? Yeah. I mean, that's a ton, like that whole, between Minocqua, Eagle River, and that whole area, there's more trails than roads. I can guarantee that in the winter. And it's actually a great place if you have the family to go, because you don't have to go a long distance between stops if they want to get out. And I don't know how many, I probably have 20 pounds of quarters in my sled when we're going around there, just so that they can play whatever, all the video games and all that stuff as we make stops. So no, that's an awesome area to ride. Yeah.
I love that. It's not like the quarters you need for fannies or those. They don't take quarters. You might get thrown out there.
They don't take quarters. I mean, don't get me wrong. They probably take them as well in that area. I've heard.
Yeah, Massart's got a Instagram page, Jacob Massart 850, and he posts a lot of vintage snowmobile pictures up in that area from last year. So yeah, for sure. But he says it's a baller on a budget, Gary. That's what he said. So how did you get into snowmobiling? How did you start snowmobiling? How old were you, and what got you into it?
Well, so it was really my my grandfather. Really, I mean, he was part of snowmobile clubs in the Rudolph area of Wisconsin. So for those that know Rudolph, it's a town north of Wisconsin Rapids, is where I was born. It's only about an hour from where I'm at here in the Fox Valley. But I was on a snowmobile 4 years old with Grandpa. He had I think it was a 1978 Kitty Cat, and he had a pond at his house. And so I literally would just run that thing out of gas nonstop. So I started a long time ago. I'm 43 now. So yeah, it's been a couple, holy man, that's creeping up on 40 years of sledding. But yeah, that's where I started. And essentially, I mean, he got me involved with, the Rudolph River Rovers was the club that my grandmother and my parents, and we're still part of the club over there. And yeah, I've just been a part of it. That's just what we did in the winter. Is we were on the snowmobile club. He was trail boss. And so, yeah. And then in the middle of all that, we decided to do some racing. So that was, we went up to Action Track. It was Action Tracks, I believe it was called, in Wausau, back in the late 90s. And that's kind of how I got into the competitive snowmobiling part of it, snowcross. I'm like, yeah, we can go do this. And so I can't think of a better way to go burn. If you had a couple dollars in your savings account, go racing. And so we went racing for probably 6-7 years, did all that. And yeah, but Grandpa was a big part of that. He helped, I said, hey, Grandpa, we're gonna go do this. And so he kind of helped sponsor getting us off the ground a little bit and showing up with a couple knee pads, a spare belt, and some gas. And we were racing. So that kind of fueled all the way through. And now, like I said, trying to pass on that passion to the boys as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And do you volunteer at clubs or still continue with that in your area?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually the treasurer of the Stratton Snow Chief, is where I'm, like, the club that we have right under my ground right now. So yeah, so I'm still an active member of the club. I'm try to be a member of the clubs where I ride. So I'll join a few of the UP clubs, and then over out back Wisconsin Rapids, Kellner Knights, Rudolph River Rovers. So yeah, try to mostly active in the one here, but at least still support where we get out and ride to the other ones.
Nice. And then when did you become an ambassador for Skidoo? When did that start?
So that was 2000. Well, the 2001 timeframe. So this will be my fourth season. So yeah, so the 2001 sleds were coming out. So yeah, and that was, everyone asked, the probably most popular question is how did you do it? And I tell people it was pretty much luck on my part, because I didn't have a big social following. I still probably don't, not by whatever all the other team has, but knowing what I know now, they knew that all those Neos and stuff were probably coming out in a couple of years, and they saw that I had a bunch of kids that I was posting. So I really think I asked the right question at the right time, and the right person heard it, but that was not where the question was directed at. So I'm going to just chalk the whole thing up to is, hey, I just happened to say the right thing in front of the right person, and they kind of watch you for a while and make sure that you're not a liability on social media. And then lo and behold, the knock on the door came, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, that sounds like a great deal. So
that's sweet. Well, you seem to have a lot of fun with it, that's for sure. I've been watching you for quite a while.
I mean,
so
yeah, it's good stuff. It is, it's cool to do a lot of things, but you kind of got to treat it as a part-time job, because when you think about grabbing every content as much as you can, and when you go out there and things like that. So again, I'm going to ride the wave as long as the wave has me, and I'll give her my all. So I appreciate that you guys enjoy it. Like I said, I try to put some cool stuff to trail riding, right? Because we don't have the big mountains in the background and some awesome shots of deep powder. Trail riding sometimes is getting through some muddy corners and some rough sections, but that doesn't usually make for great content online. But yeah, we'll figure out some fun ways to keep promoting, trail riding and snowmobiling in general. So
yeah, oh, that's cool. Like, that's the thing, I like seeing your kids, because I went through that as well, right? And seeing my son Drew starting him out and getting him hooked on the sport, and then that flame is fueled right through to now he's on an 850 and 20 years old and ready to rip, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's neat, because I can see that with the little ones up in the little 200s and things like that, and the Neos. You're in for it, man. It's a great ride.
If you saw the last one, if you saw the last one I posted, he's like, now the first question is does it have a turbo? And I'm like, you guys, you don't need a turbo yet. But yes, but this one has a turbo. And he's like, it's so that last one I posted, he's like, hey, I want to rev this one up, Dad. I'm like, all right, we'll rev it up. So yeah, it's I have my hands more than full. Yeah, I have my hands more than full with that for sure.
Are you getting an 850R when Turbo R this season? Do you have one on order?
I should be.
Right
Yep,
on.
yep. I do
Right
have one in
on.
order.
Perfect.
Yep.
Nice. A lot
Now
of
we're just waiting for it
ambassadors
to
have
show
gone
up,
that
right?
route. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
The
you
a
can't
lot of
not.
ambassadors have gone that route.
It is, and like you said, it's just super fun. And if I could change one thing about it, this will probably not be a popular opinion, but I would have put smart shocks on it. But the shocks that are on it are like really, I mean, they're nicer than the stuff I've raced through back in the day with snowcross. So they're amazing shocks. But yeah, well, I'm excited to get it because really that's just going to be a lake missile, to be honest with you. I mean, it'll suck up some big bumps, but that thing, I think people are going to be pretty excited once they get the flipper on it. So.
Was smart shocks an option on that?
Not this year.
No, I didn't think it was. Yeah, I didn't think it was. So I know I'm a true believer in smart shocks. I had my first sled with them last year, and I'm telling you, you can see it in any of my videos and rant and raving about how great it is because it just doesn't throw you off. You have total control no matter what speed you're going. So it's kind of funny it wasn't an option on that, but maybe they figured they need the big bump handling more than the
we hit some big stuff with it, and it sucks it up. But yeah, that's it. You never know what 25 brings, right? So it'll be excited to see. And there wasn't I don't think there was a ton of those R's built or being built or wherever they're at right now. But I don't think the internet hasn't showed many pictures of anyone getting them yet. So I assume that they're still coming on the line. So.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone that's got one yet. So, and I've known a few people that have got them on order. So that's pretty cool. But we're going to keep chatting. But do you want to have a look at some fan photos?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, let's do that. Just hold on, and I'll get this thing going. Fan photos are brought to you by Fast Track Snowmobile Traction Products. Check out fasttrack.co. Well, that's an interesting approach here.
I got half of you now.
I know. I'm missing the fan photo screen. Just bear with me a second here. I may have to go. Yeah. First show of the season, I'm going to have some rust to dust off.
I feel like this is all my knees and my elbows and my shoulders after the first ride. You got to work through a couple kinks in the first couple corners, right?
Oh, for sure. Let me just see if this is going to go now. Nope. Well, that's kind of interesting. How am I going to pull that one in? There we go. This is looking better. And if I go, nope. Ha! There we go. This is going to work now. All right. Now I just got to get it big here. I don't know what happened. I think so. It's been a few months, so they've updated the software as well. So there's been a few new features added and some things taken away. So we're learning this. But I'm going to start out the fan photos with one thing. And that's this photo here. And this is our pal, Jacob Massart. And he's wearing a shirt called the Blue Moon, and it's a muscle shirt. And they gave it to us, and he said he was going to send us a picture in the summertime wearing this shirt. So we got this on the, and I'm opening this up because he got this on the Lodge Sessions group ride last year. And that's a segue into my next announcement. And it's the Sportsman's Lodge 2024, February 16th to 19th, Friday to Monday, includes home cooked breakfast and dinner. It's $450 Canadian per person. So it's $150 a night. Yeah, it's amazing food. It's an awesome lodge. We sold it out last year in about 2 weeks. And really it was sold out in a week because Jim wasn't around. Space is really limited. I've got a lot of people that have actually held spots from last year. So I'm pre-booking by email, Gary@mudbrats.com. Thursday night, there's very few spots left. I think we have in the main lodge maybe 8 spots, and then we can go into the tower. So make sure you email Gary at mudbrats.com if you want to pre-book a space. And then from there, I'll put you in touch with Jim. There will be a deposit this year. He's kind of changed the way he's done things coming out of COVID and stuff. So the, it's going to be all on the up and up, and I'll have a good waiting list. So if there's any backouts at the last minute, then we'll have a list to fall back on, and there'll be more details in the coming weeks. But this was an awesome event. And do you recognize the guy right there with his leg up on the fire? Can you see that, Troy? Do you know Jinxie
I got to zoom
boy?
in here on it. Oh, Corey, huh?
It's Jinxie.
Oh, yeah, there he is. There he is. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
I was looking at the green hat to the right. Oh, yeah. No, I recognize that character. Oh, yeah. That guy I do know.
Yeah, so Corey surprised
He got
us
to
all.
ride. He was riding a bunch of this stuff, too.
Yeah, he was. He wrote it the week before this event. He was at the ambassador photo shoot and stuff, and he wouldn't tell us. Yeah. We tried to trick him and get him tripped up to tell us what the big secrets were, and he wasn't barging at all. So
oh no, they got. But don't worry, they lawyer us up pretty good, or we have to be. Yeah, we sign our life away plus our firstborn and secondborn to see any of that stuff. So, and most importantly, they confiscate our phones, because I think that's where they know better.
Oh yeah, for sure. If they ever leave you, if they ever leave you your phone, then they want something leaked.
yeah, exactly. I do not want to have that phone conversation with Skidoo. Hey, what was that for?
We had 31 people registered. 2 of them backed out. And that's all that backed out. But I'll tell you, the trails closed on the Monday of the podcast. We're all supposed to go in on the Thursday, and the trails were red up to Wednesday. Thursday morning, we had rumors that the groomer was going out to kind of scratch things up, and they did. And we got up there Thursday. It was a sheet of ice, and we had a miracle of snow on Thursday night, and we had a wicked weekend of riding.
That's awesome. It looks like a heck of a time, man. Holy man, that's awesome.
Crazy. Like you can see the fire pit on skis. It's towed behind a Ski-Doo Tundra. And this day was our first night there. It was Friday after we rode all day. And I was sitting there saying to a few people, why don't we just stay off the beers at dinner, and then we'll go out for a night ride after we have dinner. And as soon as we pulled in and the fire was open and there's a whole whack of us night ride. This is getting pretty comfortable now. We're tip a few back and enjoy the fire. Exactly. I can see how that could happen. It was wicked. It was just an unbelievable time. So, and you can't beat $450 Canadian with breakfast and dinner in a rustic lodge. So we are going to have, everybody's seen pictures from last year, so I really don't have to go into it too much, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to fill up. If you want to get in on Thursday night, we will get as many people in the main lodge as we can. Space is limited because there's a group in there before us up to the Thursday, and I took everything else we could get our hands on. So I have an idea what's available and who's coming, and I'm just waiting on a couple confirmations, and then I think we'll be good to go. But there is room in the tower still, and but the main lodge is where it all goes down, But a lot of fun. So Massart sent me this. Isn't that nice? He did the old color change, so he's gone back to the excess yellow.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's gorgeous. I saw a version of that. Maybe it was that sled last year. I loved how the yellow, they did the Skidoo stickers in yellow. That's and the Renegade, that's sharp.
Yeah, for sure. He says, let's get the party started and winter rolling. I'll post a super chat to beat Wisco. Got the sleds almost ready for the year, and more Busch Lights drank than I can remember. Probably 2, the first and the last. He put a Jaws system, Power Freaks head, sled head, racing, clutching, V-Force reeds, and some studs in the track, so I'm not spinning as much. So thanks for putting on the show for another great season, and can't wait for 108 and the Sportsman's Lodge. So he's coming. We got 5 people from Wisconsin coming up. Maybe they got room to stuff you in the trailer there, Troy, if you want to join.
I was just going to say, well, I probably, you know what? I could probably barter the trailer. I probably got room in the trailer. We'll just make this a little bit of a road trip out east.
Yeah, well, you tell me, man, and book it fast. Like if you want to go, it's a crazy ride. On my channel and also on Mike Gulich's channel, you'll see videos of the ride. I think he's got 4 videos that he did, and I did 3 or 4 of them as well. And it shows you what the trails were like and the lookouts we went to and the things we saw, and it was a lot of fun. So it's worth every penny.
All right, man. I'm gonna dig into it. We'll make a decision.
The snow as well, but you got to let me know fast because it'll fill up crazy. So there we go. We got a super chat.
Yep.
I don't have my soundboard going here right now. By the time Sessions ride comes around, I'll have enough. I'll buy a round. I'll have round bought. I don't know what that means, but he's going to keep feeding us till he can buy a round. We had Amsoil last year sponsor a round of drinks for everybody in the restaurant.
Nice.
Well, actually, it ended up being 2 rounds. That
who's counting?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But Rob, the oil guy, he reached out and away we go. So this is awesome. The back of Master's sled, and he's got the only Sessions Snowmobile Sessions Decnal on there, and a bunch of other goodies too. So I love the yellow backers on those studs there, Massart. Looking good.
Yeah, that's very sharp.
Yeah. And this is him getting it ready. See, he's got to keep up with me. That's the problem here, you know. He's
Isn't that about the first step? Every new sled that comes home, right there, all body panels are off, and we're putting on our trick stuff. That is, I have way too much memory sucked up in my phone of pictures that look them just like that. All panels off, and what are we doing? What are we playing with? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's Wisco Sledhead at the back. He's probably looking at the taillight, seeing if it's worth breaking again this year. You know, maybe he's installing a cage over it because he rear-ended them last year and busted his taillight. Pretty crazy. And you'll notice he's got the new Skidoo he's got the new Skidoo handguards with the signal lights on them. What do you think of those? Tell us a bit about those.
Oh yes.
That
was something I didn't even see coming. They didn't even have that on the here. I don't know if I'm losing you here or not. If you're going black here, but so the idea behind them is that everyone takes their hands off to put your hands up, your 2, your 1, whatever, how many sleds are coming behind you, but how many times have we passed someone that, like, when they come past you, you're like, I wish you just kept your hands on the handlebar and just could focus on going down the trail. So those are really I'll say, hey, Lurch, if they're amber, there's going to be sleds coming, or we have more in the group, right? Versus being all green, hey, I'm a lone sled or I'm the last sled, and then the flashers, hey, there's something happening up coming around the trail, like either the groomers up there, and I think that's if people start thinking about that language itself. If I saw someone now that has the flashing, they're flashing, that means there's a chance that the groomer's coming this way, or there's something that's coming up there. So, we've all been there. You come around a corner, and all of a sudden you're like, "Hey, that's a lot closer than you want," and you're locked up and trying to avoid anything. So, no, I think it's good. I think it's a step in the right direction to keep people riding on the right side of the trail, and at least warning when there's more of a group coming. And for everyone that's not an experienced snowmobiler and you start darting with carbides or whatever, it's good to keep your hands on the handlebar, right? So I think it's good.
Yeah, I do. And you know what's really cool is you have LJE Enterprises is an aftermarket LED company, and he's making a kit for the not real snowmobiles. You know what I mean? So if you've got any brand, you can put these on it, which is amazing, because I think the key is people have to use it so people know. Like, we were in Quebec last year, and they have actually a 4-light system, so you can see if it tops out as 4 people, but you can see how many people are in the group, similar to this, which I really like how bright these are.
Like a line of them, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. So if you have 4, if you have more than 4, it's always 4 lit up until you hit the 3rd, 2nd. It tells you how many people's behind, and I think it has green on the last one as well. But the it's a really neat process. I think they're great. I hope a lot of people adopt it because I think anything for safety like that. And like you said, there's a lot of people that shouldn't be taking their hands off the handlebar. And this will just be a good, a good thing. I'm riding with my wife. She doesn't have to take her hands off the handlebar. She's ahead with Amber. I've got green, and we're rolling along. So, I mean, there's always going to be the critics that,
about yep, there is. And the critic was that we had to take your hand off to switch it. But then my only rebuttal would be, how often are you switching spots in line when you're out with a group ride like that? Maybe once in a while you're switching a little bit. For the most part, you're either the middle or you're the leader or your tail gunner. But like if you don't switch it as much as you think you would. I mean, unless the ride group is always switching. But hey, it's a flip of a switch. It's pretty easy. But for the most part, you get to keep your hands on the handlebar, which is great.
Yeah, usually the guy at the back is the cleanup anyway. It's usually the same person, guy or girl, and everyone else in front can change spots with the amber light. Right? It won't make a difference what order they're in, and I think it'll be safe. The caveat I think you'll hear people or you'll find is that I may have green light on because I'm the last in my group, but there could be a guy right behind me or another group right behind me. Sure. So unless they have the amber going, then that could be the only problem. But you still have to ride within your own, your own pace, right? So if you're riding that out of control, that you need to really rely on these things, then you got bigger problems, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't give you it doesn't make it foolproof to like, hey, you need to stay on your side of the trail. So, but every little bit helps, right? Yeah.
And I might get demonetized for this display of nudity there, but I think that Wisco sent this in. He says, glad to be back. Here are some fun photos over the summer. He's been spending a good portion of the summer thinking about sledding and hanging out with a buddy from the podcast. He also picked up Indy July 5th, the puppers. Lots of excitement, but as fall passes, we're just that much closer to winter. He hopes everybody's ready. So yeah, this is his buddy Massart from the podcast. They met on snowmobile sessions, and like a lot of people have, and it's a match made in heaven. I think these two are crazy. It's like oil and gasoline. And you can't read his beer koozie, but it says Wisco's Side Dude on it. So
that's a bromance. That's beautiful.
We rode with a girl. It was called Wisco's Side Chicks last winter because Wisco's Sexy Eyes is Wisco's chick, and then he had Wisco's Side Chick, and then he's Wisco's Side Dude. So there's Indy, horrible name for a dog. I hope it hasn't caused any mental scars, but a beautiful little puppy.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, cute little dog. And then here they are at Heydays checking out our friends at Widescape there. You got to get the boys on one of these, Troy.
Have you got on one of those yet?
No, I haven't.
I was just going to say, have you been on one yet?
No. I want to. I'm dying to. They didn't come until after winter ended last year. They didn't start arriving at dealerships. So, Energy said they'll put me on one to test, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a blast. I've seen guys riding them.
Yeah, I haven't been one on either. I can't wait I want to try one in the worst way because those look fun, especially if you had a group of if your riding crew had them. I think that'd be a pretty good time.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be just wicked. Like I have a friend up north that I'd love to take it to his place because he has I don't know how many kilometers of private trail that they actually groom in his bush, and then you could go off into the bush as well with it. I think it'd be great just to point and shoot and see where it can go. You know? Pretty well.
I bet you think. So. It's awesome. Ooh, nice car.
I know, isn't that nice? I didn't know Wisco had one of these, so he's been holding that secret out on us. Unless he just bought it. That's a beautiful Camaro.
70. That's what 71 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not up on that area, but I know with that small grill, it was probably a 70, 69, and a little bit more open grill, like a little more oval on it than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet. He'll chime in on set. Gooley says 77, but I don't know if it's that a 77.
Maybe. Yeah. I can't. I could give you the 60s ones, but the 70 ones I'm not as schooled on. So
yeah. Corey Jinks is in the house. He says, "Sorry, I'm late." Yeah. And
what's going on?
LaPointe 800R is in there. He's Greg Kelly says, "Good to hear you're still alive." Yeah. And then Wisco Sledhead's totaled his car, he said. So, the Camaro's Massert's dad. Yeah. So
beautiful.
There we go. And then here we go. We got some great sleds pictures he sent in. I don't know what's happening here. I don't see his Polaris anywhere, but there's 2 real snowmobiles for Wisco, and that's Wisco's wife's sled. And I did the color change on that one, the blue.
The blue one? Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The blue decals. We did the blue 850, the blue Raz X, and blue R Motion X, and blue Renegade. It's got everything on it. It's pretty awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And now we're getting into your photos here. So hope you're ready to go.
Oh boy. All right. All right. The fam, that was good. That was before we had our third, but that was the first year ambassador right there. So I had the 900, that was the 900 turbo. So that was, this is up by right at the border, Wisconsin. The cabin's right behind you. You can hardly tell, but yeah, this is it was a good ride. It was fun. It snowed nonstop. We had like 10 inches of snow every day when we woke up, so it was beautiful riding.
Oh, that's great. What tips do you have for people that are taking their kids riding like this?
Make sure you bring enough snacks on the sled with you, and make sure that you buy snow pants that are long enough. I think the biggest thing that I've learned was that when their feet are dangling a little bit, it opens up that the cold air comes up the boots, whether you like it or not, because not all their feet touch. Like my oldest son, who's Miles, is on my sled there would be the picture left, but he can touch. But Kelvin, the one over there, his feet don't exactly touch, and like that wind comes up. So that was a kind of the surprise. And what I've learned is that, hey, make sure either you're strapping keeping your boots and the snow pants tied up, or make sure they have kind of extra long snow pants, as they're sitting 2 up with you. So kind of a weird lesson learned, but makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good tip. And how long do you take them out? Do you let them dictate that? Like,
yeah, I mean, so with these 2 now, we can probably do. We did an 80-mile ride with them with a stop halfway through 80 miles. Well, there's that in kilometers, but yeah, that's we've done it. This 40 miles is a good pull for them. So yeah, we're working up to it. I think miles will go longer now, but yeah.
That's awesome. Well, he sounds like he's a speed demon, right? He's sitting there blasting the throttle on the
no, that's the middle side.
On the free ride.
He's the middle. So yeah, he's the middle one. So he's the one that's only he's 9 now, but like he's the one that if you go back and look, he was the one that was jumping the 200 and fell off of it. He's like, "Can I jump this, Dad?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's build the jump." My oldest Miles is he's a very good driver, but he's very conservative, which that's okay at this point. I have one wild child I gotta rein in, which is Kelvin.
That's cool. Are they in any of the, like, you're in some of the Skidoo literature, right? Are they in any of the promotional material for the kids' clothing?
No, they're not any of the kids' clothing ones. No, they haven't. They haven't been in any of the promotion stuff. They did. Calvi was all pumped when they did the remember the April Fool's video last year from Skidoo, the Turbo 200R. That was Kelvin and all the stuff. Yeah, we had thought about that one at club actually. We're like, oh, what's a good April Fool's skit? I'm like, well, everyone will go nuts if we do a Turbo 200R. We're putting a turbo on everything, right? So like, let's put a turbo on the 200. So he was all jacked up to do that one.
That's wicked. That's wicked. And the other, you've got a 900 Ace turbo, and then that's the other one. Is it a 900 or a 600?
That was the 900. That was the first year the 900 came out. So that sled right there. Well, the Neos everyone loves now, but like that, we still kept that one because if there's not an awesome sled that like to learn on with that one, it's the 120 900 naturally aspirated. It has the eco mode. I've put every new rider that I have right now was put on that sled because I had put 96 studs and it sits in there, so they didn't have to worry about getting stuck on the blacktop or like that. So we've just kept it. It's one of those sleds that I'm like, you know what, it's just nice. So
that's cool. Yeah, they're great sled, and the XS was such a great platform. You know, there's not. It's a very little leap to the Gen 4. I think the XS was a great sled there. So here they are covered in snow. The kids raring to go.
No,
here. Are you there? There you go. No, I got you. So this is at the cabin, is it? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you now. I think you're just coming in. Yeah. So you were breaking up. Oh yeah, there they are. No, I'm good. I'm here again.
Perfect. This is at your cabin.
Yeah, this is at the cabin right here. Yep. And this is the same ride. It just that was the same ride, but the boys ready to go. And that was that was a fun trip.
That's cool. Did you let them
never stop snowing?
Off the off the record. Do you ever let them sit in front of you and ride, like drive that way?
Well, I don't know what we got going here. Let me see if I have a better signal. What was that?
Can you hear me now? No, I was saying.
Yeah, now I got
not
you again,
officially, but not officially, but off the record. Do you ever let the kids drive in front of you, drive the sled by themselves, with you on the back? Nice.
No, I do not let them do that.
There we go. There, you got open water here. This is great.
Any guesses? Yeah, any guesses where that could be? That I did that one as a guesses. That is good old Lake Superior, but that's going up to the Porkies right there. So the lake. They know that spot pretty well.
Yeah, the Wisco will be right by the Lake of the Clouds, Wisco says.
Yep, that's exactly where it is. Yep.
Sweet. That's awesome. Looks like a lot of snow there too. Now, is this a promo shot, or is this your sled here?
This is a promo shot. So this was the shoot for the Gen 5s. So yeah, this is definitely can't tell you where that is, but it's super cool place. But yeah, that was a promo shot. Those were with the really fancy cameras.
Yeah, nice. And you've got a couple of auxiliary LED lights on here. What are you running here in this shot?
So this was the first. So this was the Gen 5 came out. This had every LED accessory. So this, if it's a non-XRS model, the LEDs are not quite the same performance as the XRS, but then this has literally every option on it. And so when we were doing this, there's a couple promo shots where we were at night with them with the old lights compared to these, and I mean everyone knows that they've now been on them, like how much brighter the Gen 5's LEDs are. So this was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat. I think the LEDs are great on the Gen 5. The high beams are awesome. The low beams, I could have a little bit more brightness, but I think that's where you add in the little auxiliary bumper light, and away you go.
Yeah, the fine line there on the low beams versus the high beams. The high beams, they have it blended really nice up in, like you have a really good field of view. The low beams, I feel like I could have them up another 6 to 8 inches, and you'd be like, all right, but I get it. They don't want to blind everyone too. So I mean, you're compensating. Yeah.
I'm coming off of the B2 Stingers, the Moto Jungle LEDs, and going from that, it was almost a shock. And then it was like, oh, I don't know. And then as soon as I went on a night ride, the very first one, it was like, okay, I can handle this. And the high beams are great. They're no complaint on that. Yeah. I love this shot. This is a famous shot.
This has been used a couple times in an advertisement once or twice, but yeah, this is a good one. I may or may not have this one just as a framed up in the shop for fun to say, hey, this kind of a nostalgic one, right? So that's a cool shot.
Oh, why not? I would for sure. That's a beauty shot.
No,
and that was the Renegade 850, was it? Oh, we lost him. Yeah, he's having some issues with his internet tonight, so I think we've lost him there. He'll come back though. We won't hold him up too much. Here he comes. We got him back. There we go. So, yeah.
There we go.
All the struggle's real, man. I deal with it all the time. Last year I had a heck of a year. My internet was spotty here at the house. It's been good this year, so I'm glad we're both not fading in and out, because that would be a disaster.
Yeah, no. When I normally have rock solid, like amazing business fast the internet, so this is the struggle bus is real. No, this is a cool photo. Yeah. This one, yeah. And if the cool one before it, there's actually another one within the shots of it. I got to jump that sled. I come off the edge of about 3 pine trees that you can't see out of the right. I got to jump down that one, and I hit this corner out. We had 2 amazing shots all in one take on this one. So there's kind of a fun story of knowing that picture, that I had 2 really cool photos come out of that one.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's dynamite. What helmet are you wearing there? Is that the Advex?
No, that's the Exome. That was the Exome, the year the Exome came out. Okay, so that was the heated windshield. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So the Advex we have coming out this year.
Yeah. Have you ridden the Advex yet? Have you tested that helmet?
No, I didn't. I had the Exome on again for when I was on the turbo sled this year, so I didn't get to do it. We do have, but I will be putting out a bunch of. So I got 2 Advex helmets and a couple Vibe systems. So that's going to be I'll definitely put some. Actually, it's funny, the helmets just showed up the other day, so I'm going to do some install videos and some kind of what to use it for here coming up. So good. Yeah, you'll see some stuff on it. So
excellent. Yeah. Tell people right now. I was going to ask you later, but tell people right now, how do they follow you? Where can they find you on social media?
So the ones that I use definitely the most at the Instagram is at Troy_Oleson, and then on Facebook is Troy Oleson 913. 913 is my old race number, and so those are 2 things on Facebook, and then the same thing on TikTok and YouTube. So Troy_Oleson. Nice. You find me all there. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I just put it up on the screen there. Hopefully,
Tori Olson.
Hopefully people give you. Oh, I did too. Well, I'll take that down then. But yeah, that's dyslexia at its finest.
Yeah. So Tori, yeah. Oh, that's not the. Yeah, maybe I've been there, done that. So.
Here, I'll put this up right. There we go.
Yep.
This is the better one right here. There we go. Perfect. So,
yeah,
follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, there you go.
Not Tori Olson. You might get a whole different OnlyFans on that one. You know.
Yeah, that one's that's the paid account, Gary.
Maybe it's your alter ego, is it?
Yeah, no one will pay for that. Believe you me. All right, so this is 2019. This is the first year I actually had a true mountain sled. So this is over in Du Bois area, and this is the first year I had an actual mountain sled. Otherwise, I was taking the Renegade, the 17 orange Renegade. I'd put a 175 track on there, and you know what? You can give her hell in the backcountry with a 175. Momentum is like everything, but those things will climb out of a lot. I would say that you get so much more forgiveness when you have the big long track and the paddle. You can stop in a lot of places that you would never be able to do. But yeah, this is we had a whole big bowl to ourselves, and it was a good time. This is pre-ambassador.
That's great. That was fun. And where did you say this is?
Du Bois, Wyoming. So this is
Wyoming,
kind of
nice.
just east of Jackson.
Yeah, perfect. That's nice. And where else have you gone? Have you gone since? Like, this is 19, you said, right?
Yeah,
I
go every year. So we've done. I've been with Cam out at 3C Guidings out over by 10 Mile, Wyoming there. So had a couple amazing trips there. We've done. I've done actually before I was an ambassador. I had run with Chris Brandt and Kyle down at BBA. So that was fun. I had done that trip, and that's some tall elevation and lack of air. But so I had done that, but prior to that, before I was an ambassador. So yeah, and then now we do. Last year I rode with Jeremy for a day, and then we did over by the Granby and the Granby, Colorado area. So yeah, we haven't determined where our trip is yet this year, but it's either, yeah, I would guess it's going to be one of those two places, or we talked about sneaking out to Utah and Steve Martin and Tony Jenkins and those guys out there. So still TBD where we're going this year yet, but yeah, we try to make out at least two trips a year with the core group of us. So
that's pretty cool. And what do you have now for a mountain sled?
I have so this year I'm trying that 154 freeride turbo. So I've always been a 165 3-inch, give me every advantage I can for my bigger than normal waistline. But this year I figured, hey, we're gonna, if I could speak to a 154, at least be able to compare the difference, right? So we did a 154 this year.
Yeah, good point. That's great. Yeah,
but for the record, I'm not very good in the background. I'm not very good in the background. To be really clear.
Do you get stuck a lot? Like everybody does. I mean, it's
define a lot.
30 feet,
I think the short answer, no matter how
feet?
you're going to answer that, is yes. Like I get stuck a lot because I'm always trying to like learn and get better. So like I am not bashful 1 ounce about trying to like to get stuck and figure out how to do it. So yeah, I get stuck a lot.
Corey Jinks says, Troy, I guess my invite's still in the mail, eh?
Yeah, I put it on the pigeon carrier came. It should be in the pigeon. But it's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't mountain sledded yet, but it's something I would like to do. But the reality says I would get stuck a lot, and well, yeah, no, I get my Renegade. I get my Renegade stuck, and it just. I get my Renegade stuck, and it just about kills me.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's how you go with buddies. Strong back, weak mind. Whoever that riding group is with you, that's who you bring with.
It actually sounds like the Powder Hounds. It sounds my friend Adam Furlong, his gang. That would be the group you got to ride with, right? Yep. So, yeah. Oh wait, I'm missing this picture here. So Mach Z.
Oh yeah, so there's Dad.
Or Zed, Mach Z. There it is.
The Mach Z. Oh yeah, no, I say Mach Z, but I know I'm supposed to say Mach Z. So there it is. Yeah, that's with my dad. So I probably should have said more about him at the beginning, but like Grandpa and my dad, which would have been, this is my grandpa's son. He's one. He still comes with me just about every ride. Up until 2 years ago, he was coming out west riding with us all the time as well. And so finally. We're certainly not profound mountain riders, but we finally got far enough in the backcountry where he's like, I'm not. You guys are far. You're going far enough up and stuff that I don't want to go anymore. I'll take a back seat out of that. But yeah, all the trail riding, I would say 95% of the time, Dad's still coming with. He loves it as much as I do. So he's definitely he still keeps it going. He's just 6-7 years old and he's running right with me. So pretty proud of him.
Wow. Yeah, that's that. I love that. It's great to see that, and that's what I like about your socials. It's all family. I think it's really neat. Keep up the good work on that. That's really good. What do you think of the Mach? Is that one that your dad owned, or is this just a demo ride?
No, this was my ambassador that year. Brutal because I picked this up very far. I think I got mine. So I didn't get very much at all. And, so no, well, kind of getting it's taste shocks. And when I felt, holy man, like I did 900 fire, the yellow one, this one. That's when I realized how impressive Smart Shocks were. Was when you got it hopped on here, and I'm like, holy man, I think personally it was a bigger game changer on the 4-stroke than even the 2-stroke, just because it kind of got rid of that really big, push in the corner at those 900s. You kind of kept it stiff and level. So that's when I fell in love with that sled was how Smart Shocks. I was like, man, they're legit. They're not even just a gimmick. They're legit.
Yeah. I rode Corey's the first time, and it was like I was sad to get off of it because it was such a nice feeling. Even standing up, it compensates for the the higher center of gravity, and
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't anything you couldn't throw at that thing. So it's yeah, I love the Smart Shocks. They're amazing.
So there's a bunch of oval racers in the group here that probably know who this one is in the middle. But that's the deal. When I grew up, I lived in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. That's Donahue. That's Bobby Donahue with Donahue Super Sports, and that's still who I get all my sleds to today. But yeah, back in 1989, he was world champion up at Eagle River. So we happened to randomly meet him on the trail one day. It wasn't even a planned ride, but we were way up by this was close to Mercer area, and so we just literally bumped into each other on the trail. So yeah, he him and his dad built all of my mod motors for that when there was an 800 mod back when it was WSA Snowcross. So yeah, that was a good time. So he's still a hell of a rider too. So
very cool. Nice job. Let us know if you see any, if you recognize them, anyone from Wisconsin, perfect. Here's a little gaffers here.
Oh yeah, there they are. So this is this was like April 17th. Crazy enough, there's that much snow in the UP, but yeah, we were up playing at that just on the logging roads where well, maybe that's not legal, maybe it is. Well, we won't. But anyways, we were on private property. We'll just go with that. Yeah, the boys
Crown
were,
land. We always say Crown land is what you're on, right?
Crown land. Yeah. And so this is their first time getting to play on the sleds. So we had the two. That was a 120. Cal had on that one, and then Miles on the Neo, and that's when they're like, "Really? We're gonna get these next year?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna get those." You might even actually. I think we rode that one all the way through the year last year. So yeah, the boys loved it. So
yeah, he says great. Jacob says great area, almost a Hurley if you know, and he gives you a wink.
There is a stat about Hurley. Like there's always a stat about Wisconsin. Like every town's got at least 3 bars and a church. Well, then there's Hurley that has, let's just say, more clubs than stores, and we'll just leave it at that for a public podcast.
That's funny.
Good town. This one's up
Dominator. Dominator is also in the chat, and he's a huge UP guy, and he just says LOL.
This one's actually South Range. If you one right where it's range and there's some Michigan right there. So what's the big famous trail cam? About 100 yards off across to my right. So there's no big secrets.
Yeah, no, that's great. There's a better shot of that. We gave away one of the. We actually put one of these up for auction in our Kelly Shire's Snow Run for Breast Cancer ride last year, and we raised $10,000 to the charity. And
that's awesome.
The Energy Power Sports donated the Mini Z, the MXZX, and away we go. Yeah, it was cool.
They have got a lot of miles. If there was an odometer on there, I think I went through. For those that had I think I went through 5 tanks of gas with them running through the yard last winter, and we didn't even have a lot of snow, so that's a lot of laps around the house. And frankly, they didn't break anything on it. So knock on wood. I know that can't happen year after year. I broke too much shit to. Yeah. So I know that's coming. It's just a matter of time.
Well, especially when they're jumping it the way they jump.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for it to hit the house or the garage or the shop yet. It'll happen.
Yeah. But, yeah. Do you have to replace the sliders and things like that, like frequently on those? Or are they pretty bulletproof?
They're bulletproof. Like I haven't, like the skegs are like the not carbides, but the wear bars just crossing the driveway. It's nice that it doesn't rip up my driveway. It would be like they're still 3/4. I just checked them the other day. I'll run them another season. So no,
that's excellent.
They wear really good.
Yeah, those little 4 strokes just keep chugging away. I like it. You need to give him a Link gas can for the back of that thing, though.
Oh, he was mad. That's so funny you bring that up. He was mad the other day because Miles has the Neo, the oldest has the Neo, and I just happened to have the gas caddy and an oil caddy just on there and strapped there because it was out of the way. And he's like, "Well, can I put that on mine?" I'm like, "Oh, I got to go to Link Bracket. That's a good idea." So I got to give him a bag. Maybe I'd get a sport bag on there or something like that. That's actually a good idea.
Nice.
Make it look like a trail sled. Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
awesome.
he can put his candies in it.
No, a Ziploc bag full of quarters. This is the quarter hound. He wants $10 worth of quarters if we're going to. He's going to play skee ball and pinball until his fingers are bleeding. So yeah, you can put his quarters there.
That's cool. Like that saying, it's all about the destination, right? So what a great way to get your kids into sled, and they'll just want to be booking all the way there, you know, to get it.
Yep.
So yeah, there's
Kitty
some chats in there.
Skee ball. Yep, that's the key.
There's some conversation in the chat going on. Corey Jinks is bugging Wisco about running into Massart's sled. He says you're still looking for the tail light somewhere in Sudbury. And Wisco says he found it was $68 US.
Yeah.
Is this Grandpa here?
No, that's Dad. That's still Dad. That's
is it really? Okay.
This was a year.
Tell him I'm
sorry.
No,
that's all right. No, don't worry. My hair is just as gray. We'll keep it under wraps. But like,
I was talking about the guy
Dad.
standing on the. I was talking about the guy in the red on the left, actually.
Yeah, you were. I know. He looks he's like 10 years older than that. So this is the one we rocked out west for 4 years. That thing, honest to goodness, of all sleds I've owned, that thing is probably taking the biggest beating. He still has it to this day. Dad does, but that thing we took out west for 3 different years, and it, you know what? It's not a summit or a free ride, but holy man, that thing can get through quite a bit of stuff.
And you said it was a 175 on it?
Yeah, we put a 175 on it. Yep. Powder Max geared it down and let it eat. And frankly, Dad likes the track. For when we do most of the ride we do up in the UP, you don't really need studs. It's not that icy. Usually you get a lake effect snow and it's powdery. He still runs. That track's still running on it today. We're at like, 7,000 miles on that sled. And that track's probably got 5,000 on it. So it's pretty crazy for that big a track. So.
Did you have to change any of your rollers or anything like that to get that paddle under there? Will it fit?
Nope. Fit?
No, it fit right in.
All I did was gear it down. I mean,
that's amazing.
It's snug, but yeah, it fit right in.
Yeah, that's really good. Good to know. Is this your stable here? Look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was last year's lineup. That's when I knew like I had pinched myself a little bit. Life was pretty good at that point. I was like, yeah. So that was when I had all of them there. So yeah, had a couple 200s, 2 Neos, yeah, and then you had the Mach, the Summit, and then the Renegade. Yeah, that was when I went to go ask for a bigger garage or talk about my wife about getting a bigger garage. She just said, "No, you can figure out how to maybe part ways of wanting a couple of your sleds." I'm like, "Yeah, touche."
yeah, the yellow 900.
Yeah, the yellow 900. She's like, "Well, you can't sell that one." She likes that one yet, so I can't sell that one. So she's like, she really meant everything on this side of the picture.
Yeah, that's right. So that's that XRS you have there. When that color came out, I wasn't really big on it, and then when you see it on the snow, it changes my mind, right? I think the silver is really cool.
And I've come to that conclusion, I guess, in general with the Skidoo colors. Whenever I see them on, like, I was posting about McDoo the other day. When you saw that on paper, you're like, what in the heck was that color? What if that 15 XRS? But you put all that color on the snow, you're like, dang, that actually looks pretty darn good. I'm like, all right. So I always hold my reservations till I see them on snow.
The ketchup and mustard is my favorite sled of the past in the XS. Yeah, it's I love it. You know, and that's the thing. If we didn't jump right in from the XP to the Gen 4, that would have been something I would have tried to snap up. But you know, we bypassed the XS line. You know, I wanted to do the natural progression on the second sled, but I got too good of a deal on the Gen 4, so that's where we went. Yeah, Jacob Massard says, well, if that's the case, you don't have to sell any.
Yeah. Oop. I dropped it here. Dropped the phone.
No problem.
You still there?
Yep, I'm still there. You're just a black box right now, but I can hear you fine. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
That's a problem with holding phones for an hour.
10 minutes. I know, but I have all this stuff nicely set up like it's supposed to be for like a true podcast, but hey, you got to improvise with it, right? So, this one. So this is first time sledders. These are actually a couple of our best family friends. This was Negaunee, Michigan area. And so that was it was the one Julie right behind you there. That was her first time ever driving a snowmobile, and that was the Neo. That was so that she's right behind it, and then my wife is right behind there, and my buddy's on the back on the 900, and she drove that thing like she's been driving a sled for 10 years. So I mean, if there was ever, let's say, proof in the pudding, so to speak, like that is a sled easy to handle, she rocked it like a champ. So yeah, this was a fun trip.
The Neo is basically the 600 EFI, but it's a little shorter, is it? Is that
it's a 120? Yeah, 120. Yeah, 120, and then like the handlebars are narrower. They have the off trail grips, so the handles, a little bit narrower. The throttle throw is narrower. The actual throttle width is actually down a little bit. So if you have all the smaller hands and you're just a smaller frame person, and then the seat's down 1.5 inches too, so like it doesn't feel like you're so high up. I'll be honest, I have a blast on them, but it's just a cool sled. It's just not fat. I mean, when you compare it to an 850, it's not. I mean, it's a D2 and 600, but for people learning to sled, man, it's hard to beat. I mean, this is the first sled that I would say you could say could replace that 900 that I've had. That 14900 is finally one that is a good sled that everyone can learn on, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know what? I've seen a guy, Corey Brock, in the chat run the 600 EFI, and he put on a clinic. There isn't people on 850s that would keep up to him.
It takes a race or a long stretch for the 850 to shine again, even against if you're talking even the 600. I mean, even if you're talking the 600 RS or the E-Tech one, it takes the long stretches before you notice the difference. Those 600s pack a lot of punch.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's a great sled, and I think that the Neo is like bringing back the Safari. You know what I mean? And just it's that entry to mid level. You'll get a lot of mileage out of it. Your little kids will grow up and grow through that thing, and it'll be the fondest memory they've had on the snow. Yeah,
100%. And it's easy to ride. Oh yeah, there it is. And there's my oldest. Oh yeah, so that was my oldest.
Right on.
This may or may not have been the trip that didn't let him drive a little bit of the trip. But yeah, this is up by this one's up by Crandon area for the Wisconsin folks on here. So there's some good riding up in that area, which is not terribly far from Townsend area. It's a little bit west, but yeah, this is one of my boys. You said backcountry's been in there a couple times too, but he's one of my good riding buddies too. So yeah, this was just getting out for a morning ride, 60 miles and enjoying it.
That's cool. We have a question here from Jacob, and he says, Troy, what's your favorite sled, new generations, and your favorite old sled?
My favorite sled right now, Gen 5 last year. I mean, I want to put some more time on the turbo, so I don't want to just be called the newest one, the turbo, but like that last year, that silver one we did 3 pictures ago, that ranks right up there. The Smart Shocks, the refinement of that thing was really, really, really nice sled. Like just enjoyable to ride. Old version, I probably an 89 Mach 1 was essentially, but Dad had one. That was the first year the Machs came out, that black and gray. I was by the time I got to the Dad let me drive, I was probably 14, 15 years old. It was really the first big sled that Dad, I mean, when I say big sled, that 583 was, big compared to like a 79 Everest 340 that I was riding before that. So that one's probably my first one of my favorite old ones, only because everyone around me had about 10 years newer sleds and I was going to keep up with them. So like I rebuilt that thing, all the suspension on that 89, I bet you 10 times. I had more slabs of weld on that front A-arm than it weighed double what it was supposed to, a new one. So I just have fond memories of 89 because Dad and I had some motor work done to it. It was fun to go humiliate a couple 600 and 650 Polaris back in the day. And because the rumor was on those Machs that they weren't fast out of the crate. Well, when you blueprint and do a couple extra things to the motor, yeah, you got to take care of them 600. So that one's probably the fondest one, an old sled of mine that we had.
Yeah, they're awesome. The 8990, they had that the original look, right? And the 583 is a great bulletproof motor. But, you keep in mind, you were saying about your 340, 440s were fast when that came out. So 583 is like pretty much dropping the gauntlet. It's equivalent to the 850 Turbo R today, right? Like, and then they went with the 670 after that. And it just kept getting better from there.
That's a good close second, though. We had the 99 670 HO, that S chassis one. Now that was a pretty fast sled. I didn't love how that doesn't handle well, but that 670 HO was a ridiculously fast sled. You still see them in a lot of drags. So even to this day, that's a kind of a rare bird that was pretty damn fast.
Oh yeah, I had a Formula SS with the 670 in, and it was a wicked machine. That was really only a few years ago too. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is back in Wyoming, is it?
Yeah, this one. Yep. No, this was Colorado. So this would have been Wyoming. This was with Cam and 3C guiding. So this would have been by 10 Mile in South Wyoming. So right just north of the Colorado border. But yeah, good times.
Yeah. I just love how much snow is there. That's one thing I think I'd enjoy most about the mountains is the depth of the snow. I've snowboarded and skied in the mountains, but it'd be wicked to ride a sled in it.
In the very next day, Gary, on this sled, it got 30 plus inches up top. So when we were going up in a blizzard, I should have probably threw some of those in there, but like the very next day, they had snow right to the handlebars, and that wasn't even pushing snow up. It was just like all the way to the handlebars. It's the weirdest sensation in the world. You almost didn't even hear the sled running. You use the true snorkel like event. You're like, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. I hope I don't hit a rock. Is all you thought. You're like, oh, I'm flying out of this thing. So that's cool.
Yeah. How do you know where to go? Like, how do you have a guide there saying, hey, avoid this spot, but you can go over here, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, you do a little bit of pre-work, like you're looking at the maps, like a lot of say, all right, this national forest, you can run in this national forest. So essentially say, hey, if we follow this trail out, we can kind of go look and run in this area. The piece that you always got to be concerned about is the avalanche stuff, right? And so I mean, truth be told, the first years I went out there, we probably had no business being. I mean, we stayed a lot in the meadows, but I think back on it, I'm like, we weren't very smart. We should have probably had a guide the first couple of years and then get the right training. So like, I'll always advocate that now, that like getting the training, getting the awareness, understanding, practicing using your beacons, practice using all that stuff. Like, I don't want to say it as a punchline, but like you really do, because like the sleds are so ridiculously capable now that like you can get into places that you shouldn't very, very fast. And so like, I would recommend that like it's more enjoyable for everyone. Typically, especially if you're first ones out there, just get a guide. They'll take you to take you to some areas where you can enjoy it, and then say, hey, I want to try something more challenging. They'll know right where to take you and not get you too much in trouble. So yeah, that would be, if I could do it all over again, I would have definitely done more guides up front on some of these places you haven't been before. So for sure.
That's a really good tip for sure. Yeah. And these shots here where you're sitting up on the top of the mountain and you see mountains in the distance and it's just sky and clouds is amazing.
Yeah, this is a super fun one. So like if any of the drone stuff I had last year, right, essentially this is the area that I was throwing the drone up and catching some stuff. But yeah, this is in Colorado last year, right by the north of Granby area. So yeah, it's breathtaking. Those are big. I don't think we were at like 12,000 feet there. So those are probably some 14,000 footers behind us. We didn't go climb those. That was some pretty nasty Avi stuff. So
now you had said that
we were down in the bear.
You said that you're not exactly mountain shape. Do you find that the elevation like this is tough on you?
Oh yeah. There's no question. Yeah, especially this tall. Like, you do the Wyoming, like we're doing like the 3C stuff, over down 10 Mile area. I think you can get up to like 10, but you're up here. Like a lot of this stuff is like you're starting at like 11 at the trailhead and then going up from there. So like you get stuck, you definitely know it. And then again, unless you live out there, I mean, just be in cardiovascular shape as best you can, ready. Like that's that's the best you could do to get out there and just be in shape to go out there. But unless you live out there, no one's ready for 12,000 feet of elevation, and it's just short of breath no matter what. So,
yeah. Oh, the guys that are really good at it, they work out daily for it. They train
and they live up there. Like you think of like Carl and like and Tony and Steve and Cam and and Jeremy. Like Jeremy lives at like 11,000 feet. That was Holly or 10,000 feet. I mean, so they're kind of altitude acclimated
to it. Yeah,
and that makes a difference. I mean, that really does make a difference. Versus we come in all fresh lung and then have no air and then go work out like we've never worked out before on a sled and then get stuck. And it just, but it's good. It's, it sounds crazy, but it's oddly very fun. Even getting my buddies, the camaraderie of it's pretty fun. So.
Oh, I bet that looks like a great shot here. Yeah. Sunsets.
The golden hours.
Beauty.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to be a good photographer to get it when you capture it right. You just happen to be at the right place, right time. Yeah, this is a 10-mile in. That trip. This is pretty cool area because you can ride in, ride out. You don't have the trailer in. The sled sit there overnight. There's gas right there, and so you just hop in and you're right in it the next morning. So that's a pretty cool place to ride. Right
on. So were you riding in the background, like just before the horizon there, or is that where you guys are ripping?
The trail, you're on the cabins here on the right hand side. You shoot out about 200 yards and then left, and you're right down into it all. So, yeah,
that's wicked.
You're right into it. Yeah, you're right into it.
Love it. And is the weather good? Is the weather pretty predictable there, or do you not? Can you get days where you're socked in and can't ride? Yeah, you can get days that are socked in. We haven't. I mean, we've had some pretty bad, like rough days, but then we've kind of known where the meadows were that we knew. We obviously have all the inReach and all this GPS stuff. So for the days that you get socked in really bad, you just try to get to the meadows and go play a little bit. You're not going to try to go up and, explore new zones those days and stuff like that. So we've always tried to make the best of it, but we've never had a day where we couldn't go out riding at all, ever. So, no. Well, that's good. Yeah. Awesome. This is a neat lookout. Go ahead. Is this a UP? I bet you there'll be a few people that know this is Brockway Mountain or Hill, whatever. But that's overlooking the Copper Harbor, Michigan. So that's almost all the way up to the very tippy top of the UP. And I didn't have all three boys with me, but I was riding three up for that whole trip. So I definitely got a lot of waves, and I could see people laughing underneath their helmet when I'd pass them. So because I'd have one in front and one in behind for that trip. And there was a lot of people that had messaged out there like, I think we saw you. We see this picture. There's not that many people running a Renegade with a 2-up seat and had two boys, one in front, one in back, running on that. But again, this was the longest ride we took the boys on, and they did great. Again, there was a restaurant and video games at the end of the race type of thing. So they did very well. That was a 100-mile day, I think, on that one. That's cool. Yeah, Dominator recognizes it. He says he's been there, and Masser said that's Copper Harbor, and Wisco says, MUDBRATS, when are you coming out? And I said, video games, count me in. Yes. Pinball, and well, there's a couple other games that we probably are more of an R-rated thing. But yeah, you have a lot of games at the bar. It's great. That's pretty cool. It looks like you do have three boys on there. The one kid's looking at your gauge. He's checking the mileage out or looking at the map. He was. He's like, where are we going? Like, are we going here next? I had the gauge up and the map up there, and my youngest, his sense of direction is oddly very, very good. And so he's always asking, even in the cars, he's always looking at the GPS map. So it's pretty ironic that I never even caught that before, but yeah, he was looking at the map, I'm sure. Like, where are we? What are we doing? So yeah. Now I asked you if you could do some homework for me. Did you have any luck before I say what the homework was? Did you not see that part of the message? Yeah. My homework. I'll ask you live. The photos was my homework. No. I thought the photos was my homework. No. It's I asked you if you could get some information. Yeah. No. I remember. So no,
I don't have any more information about like a module that would essentially retrofit everyone's gauges to be GPS, like have its own GPS. I don't have any more information on it. I knew that was, I know what everyone else knew about it. I mean, some of the sleds we rode had it in the photo shoot last year, but none of them came with it, and it wasn't. Obviously, it all got yanked because that was widespread over that everyone got that. The dealers had that. Hey, the literature is going to say this, but it's not coming with that. So,
yeah, and they announced it at the spring event when they launched it at Club, and then it was quickly rescinded. So
retraction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. The funny thing was I didn't even know I was riding it. They didn't tell me that it had it. I didn't know until after the fact that like one of the sleds had it, like they were still testing it. So, I mean, yeah, if that's worth anything, I didn't notice a difference. But again, I wasn't totally paying attention to the map when I was doing it either. So
yeah, there was one of the mountain ambassadors, and I can't remember which one it is, so I won't even attempt to guess at it. It was a U.S. mountain ambassador, and I believe he was saying it was 2 years away still. So I don't know whether he meant possible. 2 model years away or what have you. So Master said if you look in the schematics on the 23 right now, it's in there if you look it up. But it's essentially it's a module, so you won't need your cell phone to run that gauge as a mapping system. Which I think now seeing what Arctic Cat's coming out with, I think they better probably figure that one out sooner than later.
Oh yeah, no, that feedback has been given by many to me, including back to them, to say like there's a couple things that like us trail riders for sure want is that this thing's got to be independent of the phone, and like the find your friends is like for trail riding. I mean, I think it works great in both. It needs to work great in both, but like I enjoy being able to see the dots on there. We've done, I've done it with my group. If they didn't even have the gauge, they'd run the BRP Go within the phone, on their phone. But man, if I could see 3 dots and I can see everyone's on the ride or however many you have in there, we're all within the right distance. You're not worried if someone's tailing off. So I mean, if they can figure out like that and figure out find your friends, and if they can figure out how to do it across different platforms, well, then they're really gonna have something. So I know the Gauntlet's been like, they've gotten the feedback, believe you me, and so we'll see. I wish I knew because I'd even I would smile about it, but like this one I don't like. I know that they're updating that app all the time. We get a lot of beta versions of it to like test, and but yeah, they're nothing. I don't have anything cool yet that I can I even know.
Well, you make sure you let us know first, though, if you do. Okay.
You're careful. Sometimes I'm sneaky about how I say stuff and things. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. No, it's and in my cowbell video I just put out, Denon met us. He was supposed to meet us closer to the area where the Cowbell Brewery and Restaurant is, and he ended up meeting us way down the trail. And he said he was following our dots on BRP Go and could see Drew and I coming along the trail. And he knew right where to meet us, which was really cool. Yep. So that is a great system. So hopefully they get that figured out, and because although it is a good system, the weak link is the phone, and it only works well if it's connected, and sometimes it doesn't like to. So, but for the most part, last year I didn't have very many issues with it. The year before, I think with the smaller gauge, I had a few more quirks out of that one right out of the gate. That's for sure. So.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, the ability to download apps last year was there. This one. Oh, so funny enough, all the sleds that you saw in that other picture, this is what I'll talk about the drone shot. I did show this one. So yeah, that's a once in a lifetime awesome shot, Bluebird Day of that high up. Yeah, that was that's essentially all those other sleds were lined up just out of the frame right over here to your right. But yeah, we had the drone flying that day, and man, that is the essence of the backcountry right there.
What a great shot, for sure. Yeah, there's that silver XRS with the berry red on it.
Yep.
Looks right at home in that
2-up seat and everything.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the whole family right there. That's my mom and dad. You see all there they all are right there. That's the only one that hasn't that's still kind of a little bit of a unicorn sled now too. That's the white one right there, the MXZX. That's the 1200 129. So
yeah.
that was yeah. That's a hell of a running sled too. So mom loves that, and she keeps rocking that one.
That's a rare color combo as well. That's the wider body panel. So is that a 17? Is it a 2017?
I think it is. Yeah, 2017, because the 2018 they would have been they went to a 137. It was the last year that you could have get 129. Like otherwise all the 900s were all 137s or bigger, right? You couldn't get a, I guess, a quote unquote short track with a 4-stroke, that 4-stroke. So
yeah, we have a friend that we ride with that has a 1200 and X package black, and it's an amazing sled. I rode it. He sat on the 850 a couple years ago, and that 1200 really pulls. It's impressive, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know those guys boosted the living daylights out of those. You put the turbo on. I mean, they were some pretty powerful. I mean, there's no replacement for displacement, and then if you boost it now and to push the turbo on it, you're only gonna there's a lot of room on them.
Oh, absolutely. Here he is. He's claimed this sled as his own now, did he?
Oh yeah, Calvi. He's he had to have the cool snowcross helmet too. He hasn't complained about the cold. I mean, I love the looks of the the snowcross helmet, but I'll take that oxygen or those full face ones on a cold day any day. But
yeah, it's tough to find helmets for kids. It's tough to find helmets for kids that size, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
I see that's like Skidoo has a couple of youth options now, and I think with the Neo lineup, they're getting more into that. But yeah, I know it's tough when the kids are too small. It almost looks it's almost like you have to get creative with what you're putting on their head.
Well, and it is counter, like, you really should have a carbon fiber, super light. They're still growing all the in their neck muscles, stuff like that. But then they outgrow them in about a year or 2 years anyway. So are you really going to go into a full carbon helmet for your night? You're caught between, like, the right thing to do is make it light so it's nice and that. But like, yeah, the money tree only has only so many leaves on it for the year.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's better than a hockey helmet, so you just said,
oh yeah,
don't do that.
Mom and Dad told me no to that sport, but then I don't think they realized that the snowmobiling was more expensive than hockey, I think, at some point.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
No, I laughed. I was like, I'll play hockey. They're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, oh, all right. Fine.
It's only because your dad wanted to snowmobile. He wasn't going to waste his weekends in arenas like I did.
Yeah,
right?
Touche.
Yeah, for sure. You have to be creative with what your kids play. I learned the hard way on that. I got a figure skater and a hockey player.
So this is all solid riding again. So this was last year when the trails didn't even open terribly right by my parents' place, but we made the best of it. This is right on the Wisconsin River in Wisconsin Rapids, and we are just cruising the river, and the kids were just getting used to a little bit of speed. It's a good place to learn, safe. It's not a marked trail, but I grew up there their parents lived in that hole. We've lived there since '92, so we know the river pretty well, and it's a great place to let them figure out what speed is on some of the on those sleds. So that's it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great spot, right? And there's plenty of snow there.
Yeah. Oh, that's speed runs right there. Just a little bit enough for lubrication and smooth as silk ice underneath it. Yeah, that's where you want to go test if you're tuning.
So what is the top speed of the Mini Z, and what is the top speed of the Neo?
So I called the Dreamometer. I'll probably get in trouble for that. But on the Speedo on the Neo, I think the max recall right now, I think I have is like at 72. So like, let's just put a fudge factor of 10% in there or whatever. So it's probably mid 60s, the low 60s is what I have seen on that river on that day with that Mini one. And they're like 20 something with that. They're like a little over 20 with the on the 200. So yeah, it was miles per hour, by the way. So yeah,
miles per hour. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I was quite surprised the Neo went as fast as it did, to be honest with you. I was like, this thing, I mean, doesn't have long legs, but the fact that it even saw 60, I was like, oh, wow. All right. And granted, it was ideal conditions, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You had perfect conditions there, but like granted the safaris back in the 80s, or the 377, the 368cc Safaris, they'd only do 60 miles an hour, 65, I think, tops. You know,
Tops.
but a heck of a lot of fun, right?
I still got an '89 Safari Saga. It was my grandmother's sled. I still have it sitting in the garage right now. That I think that one does like 40. It's a 289, the double pit, single lunger. That's a good stuff.
That's awesome. I didn't realize it made them that small. That's cool. And was this one of your first rides with this beast? You're smiling like it's.
No, I think I found the fast hat at my dad's house. That was probably what I was excited about. But my wife had an '89 Mach 1 hat, and there had that fast Skidoo racing hat. So no, that was all that same day, whatever. But we were just out there with the dogs out there, had the family out there, and Dad was taking the Mach back and forth, ripping up speed lines that day. And no, I think that day I was pumped. I found a new hat.
That's awesome. That's is that a Skidoo hat, or is it like it does say Skidoo?
Yeah, it was
or is that
fast
a
racing.
A dealer hat?
Yeah, it was a race team's hat, but they were a Skidoo race team. Fast was the, Nolan would know he knew some of the history on it. And I should have paid. He was telling me about it one of the last shows, but that was actually a race team, a drag race team for Skidoo. So it was it a Skidoo hat? Nah, it was more of a factory team that had a Skidoo hat for that one.
I got you. Yeah. No, I was just thinking like John Gibbs had posted on Facebook the other day with the sticker, how Skidoo used to be on its sticker game and posted a bunch of decals. And I was thinking that kind of looks like the same theme of the decals that hat does.
I was pushing them to say, hey, we need a revamped sticker collection. Like there's still a big out there that I'd have all kinds of stickers. Right now it's all, making my own or making new stickers. But they need to. Skidoo, if you're watching, we need more stickers.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's coming up the right ideas. I've got a ton that not the ones that he showed, but I have a ton that I've picked up over the years, and there's some pretty cool ones in the collection. Is this you racing a Blair Morgan?
Well, Blair wasn't in that heat, and he wasn't in my class. So he was. I mean, I ran out of talent about 5 laps before that compared to him. But no, this was at Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills Stadium. This is when they were doing the stadium piece in the WSA. So this was there was a few. Lambeau was one of the stops. Ralph. What the heck's his last? There was the Buffalo Bills Stadium, anyway. But this was stadiums weren't my gig. I needed long tracks, but it was still fun to try. I was more of a long track guy, but it was fun to get into the stadiums and do some racing. So
I like in this photo in the background, those are the stadium seats over the snow pile. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Have you got any accolades as far as big wins, or you were in it for fun? And
no, we were in it for fun. Like I had some, in the USSA, I had a lot of feature wins. My best that I ever did at one of the WSA, the full national series back when I was running, was Hill City, Minnesota. I took second in the final, but what was crazy back then is that people may agree or disagree with it, but that was the heyday of snowcross. And we show up at Duluth on Thanksgiving for that first race at Duluth, Minnesota, and we'd have 130 in our class. So if you didn't win you did a 1-1-2 in your heats, you hardly even made the final. So it was pretty competitive back then. So, but no, I don't. The best I can say, the closest accolade was the hand grenades and horseshoes conversation. Is that there was an X Game qualifier at Hill City one year, and I was one spot off from qualifying to at least go out to Aspen and ride. So it was just that close, but never got to go out there and do it. So,
wow, that's awesome. You must have been somewhat competitive.
Oh, I'm a very competitive person. Yeah, I mean, it was competitive, but there's some fast races out there, and those days are this would be another one. This is not too far from the so this is the it'd be High Rock for everyone that you guys, all the UP knowers there, but this is this is literally the farthest you can take the snowmobile out on the tip, out on the UP. That's Lake Superior in its all its glory right there. But you go all the way past Copper Harbor, and there's a one way in, one way out trail that gets you right to this to High Rock. So, yep, this is. I'd have to hit it every year.
Jacob says it's the end of the trail.
Yep. And it's a rough trail because it doesn't get groomed. It gets rough by the time I see it for the day, because if we're coming way up from Wisconsin, this is towards the end of the day. That one line, that single track in is, you just grab a handful and try to skim the top of the bumps because it's pretty whooped out usually.
Yeah, that's wicked. How often do you get out with your father still trail riding like that?
Oh, I think last year he went out every time with me. So I mean, he's retired and he just lives for winter, and he lives for sledding. So I'm like, Dad, we're leaving 4 a.m, day tripping up. Let's go. So I would say 95% of the rides he's on with me still to this day. So
that's wicked. Love it.
Yeah.
Wiscos thinks it's Marquette, Michigan. He thinks
100%. He's solid. That's exactly where it is. There's a little vantage point that I probably shouldn't have took the sled up there, but there was tracks up there, so we made it up there. And yep, Marquette's just off to the left in that picture. Beautiful riding area over there. That was we stayed in Negaunee. Yeah, we stayed in Negaunee that year.
There's a comment about water crossing in there. Do guys rip across there?
I haven't seen it on Lake Superior, but people do it. Like, I mean, I do that. I definitely see people doing it. So, but I haven't seen water cross there. That'd be a hell of a recovery. It's pretty deep, and
it would be
even.
I don't think you would worry about recovering it. You know, you're pretty high up there.
They fine you per day, so that's weird.
I just noticed that.
Well, they fine you per day if the sled's in the water, so you're going to get it out.
Right?
You're not going to want to sit in there very. Oh yeah, I mean, because there's a lot of lakes that people do it here, so it doesn't work out well. Hell, if you look up Lake Pickerel or Pickerel Lake in February, there was a big water skipping that there's a lot of people in Wisconsin go to, and that's all they do is water skip. But then there's a lot of sleds that go in because they're trying to put 4 or 5 people on the sleds. It's a big party. But
wow, yeah. Oh, here's some classics. There it is. There's that Mach 1. Wicked.
There's the 89 Mach 1. Yep, there's the 89 Mach 1 in all its glory, and that's a 89 Citation. That was one that Grandpa had bought for all of the grandchildren. So that was arguably the first trail legal sled that the family had. And so you can see the little white painting on there. He had all 4 of the grandsons' names painted on it. But yeah, that was the first I guess trail sled for the grandkids. Cool.
How long did it take you to break that?
Are we going to measure this in minutes? No, I didn't. I don't think I really broke the windshield. I broke pretty fast. I think I rolled it on the plowed edge of the driveway, trying to not hit it square or didn't hit it fast enough, and I tipped it over and the windshield popped off. But for the most part, that one I left pretty intact. Now the Mach, the
Machs will get you into trouble. The Citations are pretty durable little sleds. It's wicked.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you think 250s, they put in the single cylinders and a lot of fun. What's the yellow one in the back there? Was that a SS25 by chance?
Hold on. 84 MXZ. That was a 470.
Right on.
I'm sorry, it was an 86. That was an 86. Oh yeah, 86. 89, 86. Yeah, because my grandpa had an 87 plus the MX, the blue one. Yeah, that would have been 86.
Yeah. MX, Formula MX. Yeah, they had an SS25 come out with that same hood. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I think I only blew the engine in that one once.
Is that
right? Oh, Dad.
Yeah. He must be happy now you're footing the bill on your own machines.
Yeah, he's 100% happy that we're flipping the own bill on my own machines. That is
I'll get there one day with my son, but I'm not quite there yet. We were just talking about that the other day. It's when It's going to be time for him to start paying up, you know?
Yep. So this one,
got
I bet you, who was the Townsend, who's the one on here in Townsend? They should be able to figure out where this one is then. This one's not far from there. Very, very close.
Yeah. Hey, that's Wabino, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wabino.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wabino?
5 minutes from Wisco's. Wabino, is it?
Yeah.
And that's 5 minutes from Wisco's cabin, he says. So you guys got to hook up.
I figured they'd recognize that one. Yeah, I know. We should 100%.
You got it. You wouldn't like Wisco though. You'd like he rides Polaris. You'd like Jacob though. He's a true diehard bleeding yellow Ski-Doo guy. You know, with the classics.
I have some of my buddies that just ride a Polaris, I think, just to like counter me. I think so. Like, it's the camaraderie's fun, right? I mean, if we were all on the same thing and rode the same sled, what the heck would we all be? That take a lot of the fun out of it, right? So
it's all about variety. That's right. That's what Wisco says. Yeah, he likes it. This is an old picture.
Oh yeah, that was the hell heydays. That was, I think, I've been first heydays for me as an ambassador. So yeah, memorable one for that one.
Yeah, did you go this year?
I went there. So I went there with my oldest, with Miles, and then my parents. The Miles wanted to go. He goes, I want to go see it. I'm like, well, you know what? This will be a good year. They didn't. Skidoo didn't bring me there. They had, you know, whatever. There was 7 other ones there. And so I'm like, all right, well, perfect. Well, you can come see what Heydays is all about. So now you know. And he was hooked. It was crazy. He loved it. He's like, holy man. He says, this is big. I'm like, yeah, Heydays it's a good time. He's like, it's super fun. So I probably got him hooked on it. So now next year, if I have to work it with the booth, I'll be fighting. Oh, I can't. Yeah, you gotta have to go with mom. And I know how that conversation will go. So
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. We had the crew there. There was 10 guys wearing the Snowmobile Sessions shirts, walking around, creating havoc everywhere they went. And they were bugging MJ Thompson in the Ski-Doo booth, and giving her a hard time.
MJ deserves everything she's got coming to her.
Yeah, we try and keep her on the level. That's for sure.
No, that's impossible. Good luck with that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I think I know this bridge. People have sent in lots of pictures of it.
Yeah, this is the famous bridge in Houghton, right? So, like, if I have one picture of my phone that I probably got 400. But yeah, this is right between Houghton and Hancock. Hancock's on one side of the water, and Houghton's on this side. But it's definitely, if you're going to go to the UP, there's no question. Like, that's where, like, you take your sled right down the road and you back it up and you park it in the hotel parking lot like it's your truck. So, like, I mean, you want to talk about a snowmobile friendly communities. I mean, that they live for everyone to be up there on sleds. So, and it's a pretty fun little, it's a college town. So Michigan Tech is right up there. So yeah, there's a really cool area to go ride in.
Very cool. Yeah, I think it was Dominator actually showed pictures of that, and he says it's only way on or off the peninsula. He says. Well,
and it's funny is you ride underneath it, so you can kind of see that it's a drawbridge obviously there, but then the cars are above you, and the sleds, they essentially put rubber mats down and push all the snow underneath that whole thing, so you go underneath it on the bottom level to cross it, right? And so it's a unique experience for sure.
I love that. Yeah, it's a must see. Yeah. I think this is the last picture we have of you just ripping it. Did you take that with a 360 camera, or was there a photographer?
Yeah. No, that's an Insta camera, those are like content gold right now, right? Like you can get some cool angles without having to have a group of people taking photos. But yeah, that's off the Insta camera. Yep.
Yeah, I bought one. It just died. I got 2 years of love-hate relationship with it, and now it won't fire up. It won't. It's. I tried to use it the other day for my. Now it's going to be used as a baseball, but that's the thing. It never really worked when you wanted it to. I lost a lot of footage on it, and then we tried to use it in the summer, and as soon as it hit water, it would stop recording, and it's supposed to be waterproof. and you
Oh
couldn't
man, you're
even
gonna
get
jinx
it
mine now. I hope
in the
I hope
surface.
my camera doesn't get infested, whatever your camera has on it.
Yeah, I know.
Was it an
So
X2?
I do like. No, it was a 1R. I like
Oh, okay.
the concept of it, and I tried to use it to get shots like this, but it never. I got a few good shots, but it's like so frustrating and so hard to
Yeah.
edit, and it was just one of those things that I really do want to replace it because it was fun. Like it is really fun to get shots like this, but it was so frustrating to lose all the footage. And then we wanted some good shots the other day. We did a coffee run on pavement with roller skis, and the 360 camera just didn't work at all. It got me in the parking lot turning it on.
Get the GoPro one.
So.
Get the GoPro one then. The GoPro has a 360 one too. I contemplated doing that. It's a little bigger, but the GoPros make. I'm sure that one works pretty good too.
Do you have the X2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's kind of something I was thinking of. See, there's Drew. DP Rocks, his absolute junk camera. Yeah, the 1R was never good. Right from the first big ride we used, that was when we went to Sudbury, and the footage was all corrupt. And then I had to pay whatever to try and get it back, and there were no help. The customer support was horrible. It was just,
brutal.
So it was brutal. So anyway, I wish Sony would come out with cameras again, action cameras, but I think they've hung up the
cleats on
action
those
camera thing. Yeah,
they
because
got some great
best.
DSLRs. I know that their DSLRs are pretty friggin' fantastic. Yeah,
my Sony camera is shooting this right now. I can still use it. Yeah. It's amazing. It's got a great mic on it. It never fails me, and it never corrupt video or anything. It's been solid, knock on wood, since day one. But you can't get them anymore, and I'm having a little bit of issues with batteries and things like that with this one now because it's so old. I think it was 2014 they came out with it.
Oh man!
But it's still like I did a shootout of it against a DJI camera, and it's comparable. And the audio is way better. It's not even comparable as far as it goes. So yeah, it's
battery life. Crazy. That's the bane of our existence as sledders. If you're doing battery life, is like literally like yeah. Cold and battery.
It used to have amazing battery life, but it used to have amazing batteries, and even in the cold, but it just doesn't hold up to it anymore. I'm surprised it still hasn't bleeped out right now. It's running good tonight. So usually,
knock on wood.
Yeah, usually I have to plug it in by now, like usually in the first hour, but it's clipping along pretty good. So yeah, I love it, and it loves me back, and that's all we can ask, right?
Yep.
But here, I'm going to put this back to normal mode here. There we go. So that seems to be working now again. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. So and again, follow Troy on Instagram at Troy_Oleson, and Facebook's Troy Oleson. What was it?
913. Yeah. Boy, you think you'd make them both the same to make it easy for everyone, right? But that was taken. But yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, it's hard to get handles these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but I want to thank you for your time tonight. That was a lot of fun. We learned a lot. You sent in a lot of great pictures, and I appreciate you tripping through your fiber optic problems that you've experience tonight. And there we go. He went out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say how ironic. I'm like, I look like I'm froze right now, and I'm like, that's just par for the course tonight. So yeah, well, no, I appreciate you. I appreciate you bringing me on. Like this is, I could talk sleds for hours, and it's good. So hey, I'd love to be back at any point and have real internet. But no, thank you, appreciate it.
No, for sure. If you ever want to chat about anything, you have some news from Skidoo or anything like that, we'll gladly have you back on and keep this momentum going. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, mid-February. That's a good time. I probably actually know something about something at that point. This time they don't. Okay. They don't. when they're not afraid that it could get out. So
no, that's true. That's true. So maybe we'll talk closer to that date. But thank you again for your time, and everybody hit that like button before you close off your browser. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And we'll see you next Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you again, Troy.
Awesome. See you guys.
It's a journey for